That's really what we need to just solve all of our problems in the world. We need a young, blonde-haired British person who is a drunk who knows magic. They'll fix everything. Justice League Dark Apokolips War, released in 2020 and is directed by Matt Peters and Christina Soda, who are also behind such films like Injustice, Constantine the House of Mystery, Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons, and a couple of episodes of the amazing animated TV show Harley Quinn. And this film is starring the voices of Matt Ryan, Jerry O'Connell, Tessa Farminga, Stuart Allen, Tony Todd, Ray Chase, Jason O'Mara, Rosario Dawson, Rainn Wilson, Rebecca Romijn, Camilla Luddington, Christopher Gorham, Shamar Moore, Hynden Walsh, Liam McIntyre, John DiMaggio, and Roger R. Cross. All of the events of the DC animated universe has been building to this point. Apokolips has just entered the solar system, and Superman thinks it's wise to attack him on his home planet as opposed to waiting for him to arrive on Earth. So the entire Justice League assembles and go to Apokolips, only to find Darkseid waiting for them, and he eradicates everyone. So the film flash forwards 2 years, and Earth is a barren wasteland. But there is a small glimmer of hope beaming, where Superman tries to gather the surviving members of the Justice League to do one last raid on Darkseid. Like I said in my last review, this universe has a very young Superman, a very young and naive Superman who makes mistakes. And personally, I like that. I like a Superman that makes mistakes, not a Superman who is just perfect and always does the right thing. That's boring. That's a very boring character arc to see. So it's nice to see him mature a little bit over the course of these DC animated films, but he's still a young kid and still making very brash decisions, like sending the entire Justice League over to Apokolips because they think they're going to throw them off guard by taking the fight to them right away and not waiting and really planning out anything. Because they shortly find out that Darkseid has been watching this entire time. He has a connection with Cyborg, because Cyborg was really born of the boom boxes and all of that technology. So Darkseid, he's been watching all of these other DC animated films the entire time. It's funny, I feel like the MCU, Marvel, had their Endgame, their big event film the year before this one, in 2019, with Avengers Endgame, where it brought in everyone for one big climactic battle. This movie is really the DCEU's Endgame. This is their Infinity War. This is where our heroes, they have hubris. There is an overbearing sense of pride and arrogance where they go to try to fix things, and they fuck up. And we're the ones who suffer because of it. The Earth is barren, it is desolate for 2 years. We have these paradooms, which is a mixture of doomsday and parademons mixed together, which is freaky. They're roaming the Earth, they're killing people, they're rounding them up. Apokolips is harvesting the Earth's core for all of its molten lava, basically killing us. And really the only one that can help here is John Constantine, who is my favorite character in books, in comics. I love this character so frickin' much, and Matt Ryan, he is Constantine. He is the perfect Constantine. He had his own little TV show. I think it only had like 13 or 14 episodes. Didn't run very long, because unfortunately at that point we had other shows on TV like Supernatural that really, if you look back on it, did a lot of the events and story elements from Hellblazer that Constantine was originally a part of. So it didn't last long. So Matt Ryan kind of got screwed, but the CW saved him. They threw him in the Arrowverse, and he was on Legends of Tomorrow for a season. And he had a couple of animated features in the DC animated universe. He's perfect. I love him as Constantine. He's my favorite live-action Constantine. He has the voice, he has the look, he's just perfect. And where they take his character is John Constantine. That is who he was in Hellblazer. He kind of has a lot of cowardly aspects about him, where he knows when to pick a fight, and he knows when a fight is lost, and he ain't shy to save his life. And it makes him a very flawed character, and maybe not someone to aspire to be, but it's really fun to read and to watch him grow over time. That's why he's my favorite. I love Constantine so much. He's freaking awesome. And I love how they just tie in all of the other DC animated films, every single one, into this movie. Whether it was a little glimpse of something, or a little mention of something, or hell, just bringing in the entire Suicide Squad who survived, that had their own animated feature a couple of years before this one, just bringing them in here and living up to their name, going on a legit suicide mission where there is no coming back from, but they need them in order to get to Apokolips. They're defending the boom tube. And I also love how just malicious Darkseid is in this movie. He brutally murders, assimilates all of the Justice League members in here. Like, he is awful. Not only does he kill people, he will break you down to force your brain chemistry to kind of switch and to serve him. That's worse than killing a bunch of people. That's worse than genocide, I think, where they can actually convince you and torture you enough to where you go, okay, yep, I will serve you, and there's no other way. There's no other options. I will carry out your orders, even though I absolutely hate you. And what he does to Superman, just to make him walk the earth to watch everyone just perish and die throughout the years until the earth is destroyed. They give him a kryptonite tattoo. That's just, it's just green kryptonite in his blood to where he can't fly. He doesn't have any of his powers. And it's in the Superman symbol. Ugh. Darkseid he's devilish. He's demonic. I do not like his voice in this movie, though. It is very off-putting. You have this ominous figure who is constantly upright, and he's commanding the space whenever he's on screen, and then he has just this regular everyone's dad voice, basically. Whereas in Justice League War, the voice was pitched down a lot to where it sounded more menacing and more apocalyptic, more demonic. Here, he's just a regular guy, as if he was, like, delivering the news on TV, just talking like everyone's dad. If there was any aspect of this movie that I didn't like, it was that, but I quickly get over it because the rest of this movie is amazing. Like, watching this for the first time in 2020, because, you know, it's just an amazing year. You didn't have a lot of new movies coming out at that time. Having something as incredibly emotional as this film come out during an emotional time, it's perfect timing. It was perfect. In my opinion, it's just a perfect movie. It's a definition of a perfect film. I watched it and immediately I told myself, I need to watch this again. I need to show this to my wife. And we watched it again that night. I watched it 2 times in a day because that's how freaking great it was. And the ending of the movie is bittersweet. I don't want it to end like that, even though that's the poetic way to do it. That's what needs to happen. And a lot of times in writing, you have to get to that point in a franchise or in a series where it's leading, you can tell it's leading towards something, and then that choice is made to where everything is basically undone, and then we just restart with brand new people and brand new characters. But it's a beautiful ending. It's a gorgeous ending. It's bittersweet. Have I mentioned that already? Justice League Dark Apokolips War is a perfect film. It really is. I encourage you to go through and watch all of the DC animated films that fit into this new 52 series of this connected universe so that you get everything, so that when you pop this one in, all of the sacrifices, all of the deaths, all of the character moments just land that much better because you know where they come from. All of these deaths and sacrifices, they're earned. This movie's perfect. I love this film. I could watch this on repeat until the end of time. That's how good it is. I'm going to give Justice League Dark Apokolips War 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I think I see blue. He looks glorious.
So guys, have you seen Justice League Dark Apokolips War? What did you think about it? What is your ranking of all of the DC animated films that came out during this whole universe? It technically started with Justice League, the Flashpoint Paradox, and then ended with this one. So out of all those, what's your ranking of all those animated features? Whatever you thought, comment below and let me know what you thought about. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.